and welcome to the Women's Network. I'm Elke and I am your host. I can promise you a fabulous show today, very upbeat and lighthearted. So for those of you who are not quite settled, please get yourself ready, and we also have some information you might want to write down, so get yourself a pen and a paper and be ready for our show. As I promised you, our show will be very upbeat because today we want to step into the world of music. And not just any kind of music, we want to talk about jazz. And for that matter, we want to talk about women in jazz. Now, how many female jazz women, if I can say that, can you think of? I know you can think of a lot of men like Dizzy Gillespie, etc., but think about maybe just three. It's a puzzle for you, so you can think about it for a while I'll tell you a little bit about the show. We have the instrumental women here today, ladies in jazz, all the way through. In fact, we have three terrific guests. We have the founder of Instrumental Women, and we have two musicians who will participate in a concert coming up at the Ford Amphitheater it is. And don't even go away for a minute because we might hear a little tune as well. So if you're all set, we're set, and before I introduce you to my guests, let's have a little sampling of the Instrumental Women. As I said, you are in for a real treat. So without much further ado, let me introduce you to the founder of the Instrumental Women, or the Instrumental Women Project, Laquita Chambly. Laquita,
Hi.
so nice to have you here. Did I say your name right?
Yes, you did. You did.
I know we've done this before last year, and I couldn't wait to have another show because we want to talk about the upcoming concert and a lot more. But first of all, you are the founder. What got you started? What got you going?
Well, back in '97, I was working at an agency, and a friend of mine wanted me to help her do a fundraiser for HIV and AIDS services, and I did this concert in Leimert Park, and my friend Timothy Daniels jumped in to help me, and as they say, the rest is history. So we're now, Instrumental Women actually was founded in 2000 as far as the concept, and we've done 4 shows. This is our 5th show, and very excited because in studio today are 2 people who are going to be in the show with us this year, and it's to introduce people to the involvement of women in jazz as instrumentalists. When people think of women in jazz, they think vocalist, and so this
Exactly.
project is turning that upside down, and we've had some fine vocalists, but it's introducing women instrumentalists.
In fact, I took the line, it was your line, can you think of 3 instrumental women or 3 women that actually play in jazz? Yeah, that's hard. That's very difficult. I mean, sure, we always think about men. That's the first thing that comes to mind, you know, jazz,
Yeah.
men, whatever. So let's meet one of your participants at the upcoming concert, Miss Jerry Thill. You are a Dixieland drummer
Right.
and a vocalist. Jerry, so good to have you here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
God, you have, you know, you don't remember, but
I
I've seen
remember you.
You
I
remember me.
remember you.
Okay, all right. That was a quite a nice concert. You were with a group called
The Dixie Bells
the Dixie
in
Bells.
Palm Desert.
Are you still with them, or?
No, they disbanded a long time ago.
Oh, but I'm glad to have you here, and I hope later on we can hear a couple little drum solos.
Happy to be here.
So great. And last but not least, we have Carol Shaken, saxophonist and flutist. Carol, so nice to have you
So
here.
nice to be here.
God,
Thank
and
you.
you brought your saxophone. Am I happy for that? Because I can't wait to hear. I saw you last year, and I was just flabbergasted. You were like ripping it apart.
Oh, thank
So
you.
tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you get started?
Well, I got started, I guess, in high school. I played flute and bassoon. And I think the last semester of high school, they needed a saxophone player for Bye Bye Birdie or something. I can, and the fingering's similar. So I dabbled a little in high school. And then I went to a music college. And the flute was really not as common of an instrument. If you could play saxophone, you could play and participate in all the bands. So I made the switch in college, my first year.
My God, so that's what, did you have in mind going into the music field as a profession later on?
Yeah, I got hooked in, I guess, right before college. I had that experience, this mystical, spiritual experience of the music overwhelming me, when I played. And I thought, oh, that's it. I'm now a musician.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Didn't from the flute to the saxophone, there's quite a difference, right? I mean,
There's a difference in the embouchure, the way you blow the instrument, but the fingering system is similar. So it's not such a difficult transition.
do you work with a lot of women's groups? I mean, women's group, we're talking about women's group. You first have to get them together, but what is the main venue that you...
I do quite a variety of groups. And some are women's groups, and some are mixed, and some are, I mean, in college I was usually the only woman, just because it was a while ago. Mm-hmm. And then I was in Maiden Voyage in the beginning of their career, and they were popular in town. That's out of Los Angeles, a 17-piece
So
band.
Maiden Voyage is another jazz band?
Another jazz band run by Ann Patterson. And I did the Diva Band in New York, which was also a large big band.
So you've done quite a bit. So we
Yeah.
want to hear about it right after I talk to
Okay.
Greta. Okay, we established that you were the founder, but this is quite an undertaking. I mean, to get all this together, not only for the concert, but I understand this is nonprofit, and you know, you have to really work every angle.
Yes.
I mean, but it's good to hear that, or to read at least, that you got a grant from the Los Angeles Arts Council.
Yeah, Cultural Affairs Department
Which
was the
is
very first.
terrific, because you know how much goes to the arts.
Yes.
You know, so I must congratulate you on
Thank you.
that, and you know, keep on going. And I know how difficult it must be. So fill us in a little bit about the different programs that you have.
Well, the Instrumental Women Project, we're under an umbrella organization called National Heritage Foundation. That's where we have our nonprofit status. And right now, I'm the only volunteer staff member, and when it gets close to these projects, with just the support of the women who are involved, and LA Watts Times has been a constant supporter as far as promotional support. James Janice, who's with KKJZ, Toby Knight, the public affairs host for Coast Radio. These people have really made a huge difference. And the people who worked with me the first year, Phyllis Battle, a jazz vocalist, and Vanessa Birch, even though they're not in the show this year, they have been tremendously helpful. Probably with just their contacts, we've been able to generate about 200 in ticket sales. So it really is, when I say it's a community effort, it is truly a community effort where one person tells another and another and another,
Right.
and before you know it, you have 30 people in this group who are buying tickets, 10 people in this group. Jerry Thiel has relatives flying in from Chicago. So the very first grant from the City of LA Cultural Affairs kind of kicked it off, but the California Arts Council has supported this project. I mean, I can go down to my Target
Right.
stores.
Well, I hope you've never once thought of giving up on the whole idea, when,
I can't.
even when it was rough, when it was tough. Because I think women in jazz, that is so wonderful. Especially, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, the women show, my show, and
Yeah.
you know, promoting women, and there is something that we're tapping it. I mean, it's you know, it needs to be discussed, it needs to be brought out, it needs to be shown. I mean, we have solo artists, you know, a lot, but a group of, like you mentioned, the Maiden Voyage and Instrumental Women now, and I don't know how many more there are, but I had a group on my show at the very beginning called Strange Fruit. Anybody familiar with
Oh, yeah.
them? Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
they were terrific. And I mean, my experience was like growing up in Europe and then coming over here. I went to San Francisco and they had a lot of jazz clubs. And in Europe, we used to go to the underground jazz clubs. And then here in LA, there wasn't that much, but you know. And now I'm so excited to see that women are getting involved in it. So, and you must know a lot. I mean, fill us in about how
I go
it all
back a
evolved.
long
You go back
ways.
to Dixieland, and you know what? We used to dance in Europe. We used to dance to jazz, and Dixieland, you know, was just kind of fading out, going into modern jazz and that sort of thing. And I remember doing that Dixieland step, and so tell us a little bit.
Well, I
your-
never really did much Dixieland
No, but,
until the
give us
Dixie
a-
Bells.
yeah.
And I found out about Dixieland, yeah. No, I go back a long way before you were born.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
come on.
No.
But,
I go way
how
back
did
to
you get
vaudeville.
started? How did you-
Vaudeville.
My God.
I started the tail end of vaudeville.
Always
yeah.
with the drums, or
No, I started out a dancer, a singer. I had an 8-piece girls swing band that I was leader of
My
in
God.
vaudeville.
You've done
I
it all.
forgot all about it.
I'm glad we asked.
I just read my press and remembered what I did.
That is
Yeah,
terrific.
well, I go back a long way.
So you have played with a lot of
Various.
a lot of women.
Lot of 'em,
Have
yeah.
you been in bands?
Yes, after the war I was with Ada Leonard with the big band.
Mm-hmm.
I started out with the Hollywood Sweethearts back in the late 30s.
God,
Yeah.
that is fun. Do you
Yeah.
have any recordings from that time?
You know, unfortunately, no. I don't.
That's too bad.
It is too bad.
Because that would have made
Uh-huh.
a
It's
great
too bad. I mean, it's too
scrapbook.
bad that Ada didn't do some big ones because we did a lot of television.
Yeah.
They probably have it in the archives.
What are you doing now? I mean, what's the
I
latest
have
gig?
been 19 years at a little club called the El Cid.
My God, and
Yes.
you're still going. You still have
And
a group.
that's where I met Carol. Carol introduced me to Laqueta, and all of a sudden all of this is coming to be.
And then I met Laqueta, and
Yeah,
here
I
we
know,
are.
I know.
And now I'm so curious.
Small
Can-
world.
Can you play a little tune,
Would
Carol?
love to play
And
a tune.
Maybe you can chime in. I mean, whatever comes to mind. Let's have a little music.
All right.
And to our audience, this is, here we have the Instrumental Women, Women in Jazz, Lady Jazz, with an upcoming concert in August. So let's hear. Halfway through. Don't get the exact date because I'm running. I just say every August. was great. Boy, you too, as if you rehearsed before. Did you?
It'll be nice if we had a full set. Or at least a stand that I didn't bring.
Well, you did real well.
This is a new thing?
Yeah. Anybody
must-
can play with Carol Shaken. Come
Well,
on.
I know when
Yeah.
I know. Like I said,
She's so fabulous.
in the beginning. I mean, I saw you, and I
Ah.
mean, people were going absolutely crazy, and the way you moved, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
way you really. I must say, you have it.
Well, there were some great concerts. The last, the ones I got to participate in were really special events.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.
Laquita, tell us a little bit about the upcoming concert. What do we have? What's the lineup? What's surprises or?
Oh yeah, there are some surprises. Actually, one of the surprises is Jerry Thiel that
I'm
some people
sure.
are enjoying. But this is our 5th anniversary, and actually Carol was the music director last year. And this year, Lisa Terry, who's a violinist, teaches at the Mancini Institute, very accomplished. And real quickly, the lineup includes Nedra Wheeler on bass, Darlene Moreno on guitar, Kim Diaz, this is my first time working with her, on drums, and Karen Hernandez. Anybody who's anybody in jazz in LA has played with Karen Hernandez at some point, more than likely. And we have in the horn section, Carol Chaikin, Robin Javier, our little darling 20-year-old trombonist.
Oh, I
And-
remember her. She was terrific.
She's back this year. And
She was
Cindy Shea, a trumpet player who's also the band leader for a group that's joining us for a guest spot, the Mariachi Divas. So we're having
Oh,
that
I heard
flavor
about them,
this
yeah.
year. And the vocalist is a group called Martin's Favor. And a poet out of the Pasadena, Altadena area by the name of Nichelle Holiday. And of course, our gentleman of jazz, Mr. James Janice, is the MC again this year. So that's, I think I got everybody. That's the lineup
What a lineup!
at
my
the
God.
Ford. And if you've never been to the Ford, you can bring your picnic baskets. It's our
I know,
our
it's-
summer
it's-
home.
yeah,
early
and-
August.
And you know what? Another thing I like about it, because it's smaller, much smaller than the bowl, and it's much more intimate.
Yeah.
And for the music that we're hearing, it's so intimate and so so perfect.
Yes.
And the audience, at least from last year, I mean, they are on their feet, and
Yeah.
and the acoustic in that small area just really gives it like there's no tomorrow. And what about when you're up on stage and you hear the audience? How does that grab
Oh,
you?
it's great. It is great.
That's
You-
probably
there's-
your like a adrenaline, right?
Yeah, it's very a warm setting. The audience last year was beautiful.
Yeah.
They were into it.
And I can't wait to see you because, I remember you from a couple of years
Right.
ago.
Yeah, I
and
remember you.
You did so well, and in fact, I wanted to get all of you on the show, but time went by, and
Right.
here we are. Now
Here
I'm
we
really
are.
happy to see you now. But Laquita, there is something else. You have like a youth program, and can you talk about that a little bit, and talk a little bit about how to join women in jazz, how to join instrumental women, because that's real important, because you want to act and you want to get the word out.
Well, in May of this year, we kicked off our what we call Meet the Artists and Professionals program, and it's to introduce middle school and teenage girls to women in arts, media, and entertainment. And Beverly White, who's a news person here on a major station, she actually came and worked with the girls, but it's a 3-part workshop. It reinforces academic skills and introduces the girls to really the possibilities where they can go with what they're learning. And we are looking forward to some campaigns that we have rolling out next year. One, I can't mention the name of it because it's under development, but where we are going to collaborate with organizations that have music programs for youth. And to find out with what we're doing, our website, which is done by Adrian Hall, www.instrumentalwomen.com. That's how people can get the information about anything and everything that we're doing now and what we're planning to do. And actually, at this point, the staff of Me, Myself, and I answer all of the emails. So if you log on and click
Let's
contact
get some
us.
volunteers out there too,
Yeah.
right?
Actually, we have, that's what really keeps us going. We have a core group of volunteers who
That's
jump in
great.
every year.
That's terrific. Now, I know we have another clip. So while they are setting up our clip, let's set up a little bit of what we're hearing. Do you remember which one we're going to be
I think
seeing?
this is from last year's show with the guitarist Darlene Moreno, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Okay, if we are ready, if we can go to the next clip.
Did you say I've got a lot to learn? Well, baby, don't think I'm trying not to learn. Since this is the perfect spot to learn, please teach me tonight. Starting with the ABC band, right down to the XYZ band. Help me solve the mystery of it. Baby, come on and teach me tonight. The sky's a blackboard high above you, and if the shooting star goes by, I'll use that star to write I love you 1,000 times across the sky. One thing isn't very clear, my love. Should the teacher stand so near, my love? Graduation's almost here, my love. Baby, teach me tonight. Hey,
Well, I tell you, this is terrific. It's been just wild talking about it, listening to it. Who did we just hear?
Oh, that was actually Carmen Bradford. She was the lead vocalist with the Count Basie Orchestra for about 9 years and is
My
now
God.
the lead vocalist for Doc Severinsen's orchestra, an incredible jazz vocalist based here in the Southern California area.
Boy, you got some great women.
So
Some
we
great.
have been blessed to have the best, and I mean that.
Yeah, and the way I guess you meet, one meets here and then the other one comes along, and there you go, more and more and more.
Yes.
And I hope so, because like I said earlier, it's you all are so terrific. And Carol, I want to hear more about where you're going from here. So what's your next step, or which direction are you going? Do you have any CDs coming out? Or?
Yeah, thank you. I'm presently working on a CD. I'll be doing a collaboration with a piano player, a friend of mine, and original music and more of a jazz, a pretty album, but in the jazz mainstream. And I'm looking forward to future collaborations with Laquita. We're talking about projects, and we always have a great time when we play together. And once a month I get to play with Jerry, and hopefully we'll do more things. We're talking about perhaps going to New Orleans and
Oh, that'd
other
be
hot
great.
spots.
Let me know when you're going.
Yeah.
I want to be there.
Yeah.
Go with
I
us.
want to hear that, because that would be the first for me to hear some, and then women in jazz. I would like to really stick
Absolutely.
with that. So that's great. And you've been out of town. Did you go?
Yes,
and play, or-
well, I played a little bit and biked a little bit, and my friends were playing in Montreux, and I had a business
God.
meeting, and,
Oh, that's
and
great.
all
That's
good
terrific.
things.
What about you, Jerry?
What about me?
You're going to be playing at the club here in Hollywood.
Oh, I'm still
gonna have to
there.
go-
I come with Elise.
I'm going to, and you're going to be with her the first month.
Yeah, the first Sunday
Sunday.
of the month, Carol's with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be at the concert.
And I'm
with
gonna be at the concert.
Laquita.
Yeah.
My God, you're all going to be so busy.
Yeah, that's true.
I hope I can catch you more often. Now there are more concerts going on, right? I mean, you have more things lined up than just the annual concert.
Well, we basically, it's based on budget, and when we are invited to play, we did All Saints Church in Pasadena last year, their Women's History Festival. during the month of March. But Terry Boykins, who's really, I call him my national marketing director, he is based in the Inland Empire. We have some exciting things planned for later this year.
That's terrific.
And as I say, you know, these are some of the best jazz musicians in the business who just happen to be one day.
You know, I wanted all of you to say give some parting words, but I just got the signal up. We have 1 minute. Just give me 3 words. What's so great about women in jazz? This is it.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
very
it.
lucky. Very
The
lucky.
talents,
And it's fun.
it's fun. That's it. I mean, I'm glad to hear that because, wow.
Wow.
You are in there for good. I want to thank all of you, Laquita. Thank you so much for pulling this together, for pulling all the other stuff together. I know you probably don't have a moment to breathe. Carol, for coming and even playing a tune. Thank you so
pleasure.
much. And Jerry, for bringing your
little
drums
bit.
and helping out and playing with Carol. It sounded terrific.
My
It sounded
pleasure.
wonderful.
My pleasure.
And I want to thank my audience. And if you want to know more about it, please give me a call or write to me. The email is at the end of the credits. Call the website. I mean, pull up the website, whatever. Get in touch with us because you need to hear them. The Instrumental Women, ladies in jazz. What can I say? Thank you so much, and thank you so much.